One. Welcome, readers. Today we are here with the Puppets of Spelhorst, and I'm in Mrs. B's room. Everyone say hi. Whoa, they were excited. Okay, shh. Now we will be silent so that they can hear chapter 12. I am in a fourth grade classroom today, so you'll see some fourth grade books behind me on the wall. All right, we were reading chapter 11. Was interesting. You remember who got left outside and who is not up on the mantle. So now we are on chapter 12. The king and the owl and the girl watched together as the sun rose. The room became lighter. The blue walls shone. A maid came in to light the fire. When she saw the three of them sitting on the mantle, she screamed a small scream. "Saints preserve me," she said. She looked at the king. Even though his crown was crooked, she curtsied. "Your Majesty," she said. The maid looked into the girl puppet's eyes for a long time. "Hello," she said. And this is the mantle. And the only two left on the mantle are the girl and the king. Everyone else is gone. So she's talking to them, and she has a little bit of an accent about her. The maid understood that the king was a king and that the girl was a girl. But since the owl was face down on the mantle, she mistook him for a feather duster. So a feather duster this is interesting. It reminds me of this thing on Miss B's desk here. A feather duster is something you dust the house with and that you get rid of dust around. Well, she saw the owl sitting there and thought it was a feather duster. She mistook but she knew who the rest were. "Who left that thing sitting there?" "Not I." She picked up the owl, thinking it was a feather duster, and threw him into the cleaning bucket. The maid lit the fire, and then she stood back up and considered the king and the girl. She arranged the king's crown so that it was no longer crooked. She looked again into the girl's eyes. She said, "Violet, that's the color of your eyes, if you was ever wondering." So her speech is a little different. "If no one's ever told you, violet is what they are. Violet is what my ma intended to name me, only she didn't. She decided at the last minute against it." So this is some interesting pictures. So over here on this side, way over here, we have the feather duster in the maid's bucket. And then on this side, we have the maid speaking to the girl, calling her or telling her her eyes are violet. She decided at the last minute against it, said it was better to have a sturdy name for a hard world. I wonder what she named her. "So Jane I am called, Jane Twittem." Jane Twittem sighed. "Nonsense it is, all of it. Nonsense coming and nonsense going, and nothing but nonsense in between. If you was to ask me, which no one ever does." Jane Twittem studied the girl puppet. "All I intended to say is that your eyes is violet." That doesn't sound right when she talks, right? She says that your eyes is violet. I think we would say your eyes are violet. So that tells us about her character. "If you ever did wonder the color of them, and you are good at looking through them, ain't you?" Which we don't usually use that word. We would say, aren't you? But she says, "Ain't you?" "Yes, good at seeing, that's what you are." With these words, Jane Twittem picked up the bucket and left the room. So now we have a new character added, and we have the maid, and we know her name is Jane. All right, thank you for joining me today. If you have not subscribed to the channel, my reading channel, please subscribe and give us a like. All right, thank you, Mrs. B's class.